approval. I'm using the stencil that's in there, and we are going to make a card, one card with every product in that stamp of approval kit. So this will be a two-parter. Here I've put it down with medical tape. I'm using the Distress Stains Victorian Velvet. Just press it there and the ink will come out. And it's very soft colors. And I'm just using the three, the pink, blue, and the green, and I am going one after another. Use just the three colors on the stencil, which makes it really nice because it dries quickly. I'm using the 140-pound cardstock I bought at my stationery store, and it works really well for this technique. So you just want to go back and forth on your colors and then dry them off with your heat tool just a little bit. And then we're going to take there we are, just drying it. And I'm loving this Milwaukee heat tool, I'll tell you that. Just heats up immediately. So I'm taking a paper towel to pick up some of the ink, which you can see there's hardly anything on there. Taking off the medical tape, and we are going to do something with this stencil by picking it up. Then there it is there. Isn't that pretty? Now we're going to move the stencil a little bit over to the left and up a bit. Left and up. Then we're going to tape it down right there. And we're going to put on Cosmic Shimmer paste. And it's called Sparkle Texture Paste in the gold. Isn't that gorgeous? And it has this really sandy texture. It's so nice. So once we've moved it over, we're going to get the look of the white space as well as the color and the gold glitter. Just awesomeness in a bottle. Yes, here we go. And I bought that at Buffalo Stamp and Stuff. So doesn't that, oh, it's just beautiful. So now I'm taking the medical tape off so you can see the circles. Look at that. You have your color. There comes the stencil, and you're going to want to run that down and clean it, the stencil, because you don't want that glimmer paste sticking to it, because it would be terrible. So here I'm quickly just going to dry the paste so we can carry on with the technique. And then I am going to run that down to my sink, and I am going to wash it right away. You do not want that sitting for more than a few seconds. So I'm going to run that down. I'm cleaning it ASAP. Now the second thing I am going to do right here, number 2, is I want to make tags. So to do that, I'm going to use some of my wrapping papers. I looked over, and there's this dollar store wrapping paper, black with the gold glitter circles, which matches that beautiful embossing, stencil. And that's in the Stamp of Approval kit. So you just take some stick it and you put it on the back of anything you want to create, because then it'll glue down to your cardstock, which I'm using the 140-pound again. So here I've got my tags, and I've got the stick it, and I'm going to put it on the back of my tissue paper, of my wrapping paper, excuse me. And look around, like the wrapping papers and all of your papers could match beautifully, and in this case it did. I'm going to make 2 tags, and I'm going to do 2 sentiments out of that one sheet I'm putting down there right now. So I just want to grab my burnisher, burnish it down onto the stick it, and here's some Stampin' Up! Papers I bought last year. It was at Christmas. I'm taking a piece out with my T-square ruler. I'm going to add some stick it to that, and on the 140-pound cardstock as well. So you want to peel that one off and put it down nicely. There you go. And I use every single piece of this. I really do. I do 2 sentiments and 2 tags out of that little piece of squared wrapping paper. So I'm bringing that in, and I am taking my Teflon bone folder and getting all that glue on the back, cutting it down, and then I'm doing the same thing with this Stampin' Up! Wrapping paper and putting the stick it on the back so that I can, whoa, put it on the back there, Carol. There we go. So as much as you want to use, just put it down and take it off the back and put it on your cardstock. I just had that 140 pound. I'm going to tell you that Michael's, that 120 pound paper at Michael's is really good as well, especially the black. For some reason, the black is thicker than the white. I don't know why, but it's beautiful. So here you go. I'm just folding this back. It's going to be a tag. I'm going to cut it off, and then I'm going to do my tags, but I have to cut my tags apart. So make sure you have glasses on, safety glasses, because those little pieces, yep, cover your eyes, little birdies, not your ears. Yeah, so here we go. I have my glasses on, which I wear all the time, and I have my set of snips, and I'm going to snip those tags apart. Yep, there it is. So you have to be careful, because honestly, they fly. You think that they won't, but they do. So I snip those apart, and then we are going to put them down on my plate here. One pass through right there on that wonderful new plate that I bought there. And I want the stripes all going in the same direction. So I'm going to run that through my vagabond. I'll be right back here. There you go. There's my tag. And they cut out like butter. Look how beautiful that is. So I have that. I'm just going to take the back off with the scissors. And we have that tag. Now I'm going to grab the other wrapping paper. Isn't it beautiful? You'd never know on the 140 pound cardstock that that was not actual cardstock. So I am going to situate it how I want those gold circles there and run it through the vagabond. I'm back. There's 2 tags. Actually, it'll be 3 tags. And then all that edge I used with the sentiment. See how I used friend, and I think it was the love ya underneath. So now I'm taking a flower die, any die that's shaped like a flower, because that's what part 2 is going to be, the card. And I am running the stencil part. I'm going to need this acetate from the flower. So I set out to have 2 pieces from 2 flowers. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. I'm just in the preparation stage. I wanted to show you how you can, you know, and if you don't have the papers you want to use that match, look for your wrapping paper, especially at Christmas. So here I'm outlining that flower because I want to cut out a line so that my sprinkles follow that flower. You'll see it in part 2. So now I have my sheets that I went out and got lasered, so that I can do my Mink machine foiling. They're already prepared, so you just cut out a piece of your foil paper, and this is Heidi Swap's paper, the turquoise, and then you set it in. I just cut a little piece of the plastic that goes through the Mink, just enough to put little projects. Now I'm putting it back in the containers. Yeah, that's a job, but it gets done. And then there, all finished. Now I'm going to run this through the Mink, and I'll be right back. And it has a little bit of static. It wants to stick to that strip. So you have to just line it up there. Just trying to think, okay, what do we... See how I put it down and it just moves? There we go. Oh, static. Now I'll situate that, run it through, and have my one piece, one flower piece. So that's pretty awesome. And once I get that back here and take it out, I'll burnish that. And that's with the Heidi Swap Mink. I love that. And I like the laser sheets that I went and had done. So whenever you want to do anything with the to have it foiled, it just takes you 2 minutes to run it over and just die cut it. Now we're going on to, I picked out this pink Stampin' Up! Paper, and because the shade in that stencil right there has the circles in that, so I thought I'm going to go for Eva's flowers here and cut that off so that sticky part doesn't bother me every time I take it out. And I'm going to do the little flower in gold. I'm going to grab my terracotta gold ink. Now I'm just outlining it with that pen, that erasable pen. And then I'll know where to put all of the teensy flowers to situate behind this stencil. And believe it or not, I end up using quite a bit of, I think, something from every part of this stamp of approval box. So it was really nice. So here's that gold terracotta ink, I'm pretty sure, and I'm just going around and stamping it. It's so vibrant. I love this gold ink. And once I get it all covered in and around that space, I'm going to put clear embossing powder on it. And we are going to be all set for, yep, there comes the embossing powder. And I hope this, on my Mac, sometimes it heats up a bit if it's laying down and I'm talking. So I hope that you don't hear all of this static. But I've already done it, voiceover 3 times. I don't think I could do it again. But I'm holding it so it's not on there, so we'll see. Okay, heat setting it with my new Milwaukee heat tool. Love it. I do highly recommend it. That one and the Marvy. Both really nice heat embossers. So now I'm going to situate that behind that flower. Oh, that stencil's beautiful. I just love it. It's just so pretty. So now I have that, and now I'm going to get everything cleaned up for part 2. I picked out a black 120-pound cardstock for the base of the card, and this is where we get into the shaker card. We are going to do a shaker card. It's called a trailed shaker card, and I'll do that on part 2 to show you. It's really cool. But the card goes in a completely different direction, as do all my cards. I start out one way and then I end up going a different way. But anywho, yes, we've got that far. We've used the stencil, we've used a few items out of that box. So you have yourself a blessed day, and we will see you in part 2 when we put the card together.